Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Mirasthiparantakare. Banushashi Bhamisito. Buddha Shah Guru Shah Shukra. Shani Rahu Ketiva. Sarvigraha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om Hrim Shukaye Namaha. Om Hrim Shukaye Namaha. Om Hrim Shukaye Namaha. Well, greetings and thank you for being here. That last mantra, Om Hrim Shukaya Namaha, is an invocation for Venus. Now, every Friday is a Venus day. So here we are, it's a Venus day. And welcome to this week's astrology for March 24th through the 31st of 2023. So, what do we have going on this week? Well, as of today, we've got a moon in the constellation of Aries in a lunar mansion known as Bharani. And Bharani is ruled by Venus, and Bharani's ruling deity is Yama, the god of death. And Bharani's symbol is the yoni, the female sex organ. So what we say in Vedic astrology and Jyotish is that every birth is a death, and every death is a birth. Now there's a temperament to every one of these lunar mansions that we know as nakshatras. And, most Western astrologers don't use these things. I'm experienced in Western astrology, but as I evolved in my practice, I moved more towards Jyotish, which is sort of the light of life. And it's closer to where planets are astronomically, whereas normal tropical astrology is based on seasons. So most of us, our sun signs tend to, unless we're on the last 6 degrees of a sign, the first 24, 23 degrees go back another sign. So that's something to consider in this. Now, welcome to KozmicKev100, and I would love it if you would share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, like. I love your comments. I want to give a shout out to Shantavakian, just really faithful with bringing comments to my show, and all these YouTube people. I want to give you all shout outs because you're so good to me, and I want to thank you. I like to thank my faithful listeners, my faithful people here, and so looks like I had a few people. Thank you for liking, and people who gave me comments. One was at least one was from Shant, and always appreciating you, my friend. Person that always posts these rock. I appreciate you as well. Melissa, Rebecca, Charlene, other people that have commented in the past. Give a shout out to Ron and Erica up in Idaho. I was so glad that Erica got honored in Seattle recently, and just all you people. I want to give thanks to my Jyotish teacher, Camilla Sutton, who introduced me to Vedic astrology, and memory of people on the way. Alex Zoltar, who's probably not with us any longer, I'm not sure, but he initiated me in Western astrology, so I need to give thanks to all my teachers. Andrew Foss, who wrote Yoga of the Planets also as well. So back to this Bharani thing. So it's a weekend, Friday. It's a very Venus day because in Western astrology the moon, of course, is in Taurus. That's an exalted moon because Taurus is a sign that's satisfied. And, you know, we want more satisfaction in our life. And here's the deal, folks. You might say, oh, I don't like this sign or whatever. You know, signs of the zodiac, sun signs, there's 30 degrees to each one of them. It's like cousins, you know. Very few people have 30 kids in their family. You know, maybe in some weird polygamous, you know, groups, sometimes that happens. But you know, but cousins, there might be a lot of kids, you know, and sun signs are kind of like that, as many personalities as cousins. So generalization is bad, generally speaking. But we have to have what is commonalities that we commonly tend to see, and that's mainly what I'm talking about. You know, there's a purpose with each one, you know. So Taurus's key phrase is I have. So Taurus tends to be satisfied, tends to teach us about satisfaction, and that's where the moon is at for today. That's where the moon will be at for tomorrow until the evening, 5:42 p.m. Moon goes into Gemini on Saturday. In Western astrology, it'll be in, you know, it's going to go through all its phases, folks. So, you know, nakshatra-wise, Saturday will be Kritika, Sunday will be Rohini. Sunday you're going to see some fine-looking folks. Monday will be Mrigashira. Oh yeah, things get a little weirder there. And Ardra, Tuesday, you know, you don't want there to be too many tears. And then on Wednesday we pick up the pace with Punavarsu, with direction. And by Thursday it'll be Pushama. It's considered the best nakshatra. Everything's going to be great. Okay. So what's the next? The next thing I'm supposed to do is turn the wheel and go sign by sign and give you your horoscope and make sure all these lovely planets are in the right place where they should be. I mean, it's not really Kalsarpa Yoga because, you know, we still have South Node over here in Scorpio, but otherwise it would be. It's like all the planets are mostly on one side. There is sort of this kind of imbalance right now, and things tend to get really polarized when we have these type of planetary formations. So it's just like aware of that, you know, as you go through your week. And, you know, outside of Pluto's recent move into Aquarius, there's not really a lot to say. By next week, well, actually, we're going to have Mars is going into Cancer tomorrow in Western astrology. This is huge, people. Mars has been in Gemini for freaking ever. I mean, some people say that's great, but let's get real. So, and I'll just throw this in with my Aries forecast. So greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So good to have you here. You know, this is your Western tropical forecast for your rising sign primarily, your sun sign and moon. If you know that, you know, most people know their sun sign, but if you know your moon sign, it's kind of nice to throw that in too. But the rising sign is a primary, you know, and that's primary for all of us. And, you know, and most horoscopes in the Western are based on sun sign, but in relationship as if the sun was rising. So that's first house. That's where all the action happens, folks. That's the only house that's both Kona and Kendra. You know, it's the most purposeful house, okay? So Aries, you've got a lot going on. You've got Sun in the first house, Mercury in the first house, Jupiter in the first house. Dang. Talk about Jupiter and Venus, the two benefics, the two gurus. No, you don't have Venus there anymore. Venus is in Taurus. You know, you're in Vedic Aries, so, you know, that's sensual. But, you know, you still have number one guru there. A lot of good fortune. You're meeting good people. Mars, though, is no longer in the third house. Mars has moved over into your fourth house. I mean, this is huge. You may have to move. So what do we see? You know, we see somewhat of an ungrounding with Mars in the 4th house. Sometimes people are less grounded. They have to move a lot. That's really hard. Because, you know, whenever you're a stranger in a town, there's a delight with the fresh energy, but there's also a suspicion, like, who are these people? What are they all about? You know? You know, it's like the song by the Eagles, Johnny Come Lately. There's a new kid in town. And the other thing is that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. You know, because Mars is ultimately Lord of the Earth, even though it's ruled by fire sign Aries and it rules this water sign. It's one of the co-rulers of a water sign, Scorpio, along with Pluto, or if you're talking Vedic, along with Ketu, South Node. But Aries is straightforward. You know, it's like the most straightforward, honest sign in the zodiac. And it's about new breakthroughs, and it's about self-reliance, and it's about self-appreciation. And so you might be more wanting to spend money because of Venus in the 2nd house, but you also might be, you know, looking at your losses with Saturn and Neptune in the 12th house. And just being really aware of what your personal karma is. And so you're really trying to do better. I think on a spiritual light, on a conscious light, even as a student, Aries is trying to make it happen better right now. But the thing is that Mars is a logical sign, and Cancer is a feeling, a logical planet. Cancer and the Moon are very feeling oriented and mental. And when it comes to Mars, you can't be mental. In fact, if you want to accomplish a race or a goal, you have to visualize yourself doing it. And it's mind over matter and mind over the body. So don't let your emotions zap your strength. That's the debilitated Mars. And so you're going to be dealing with this for, you know, several weeks. Oh boy, when do we get... It's a good question. When does Mars go out of Cancer? Well, Mars will be in Leo on the 21st by Sunday, May 21st, by probably the 20th Saturday, something like that. So that's good to know. That could help things. That's like when Beta Breakers race is, so that's somewhat encouraging. All right, greetings Taurus, welcome to your horoscope. So, first thing, what's up with Taurus? You know, it's like, well, it's springtime here officially, in every sense of the word. And you like spring, but 12th house is a house of loss, and so your own personal authority is sort of like not in its best place. You know, there's some losses. You're harvesting everything that went through last year. Your spiritual intuition is on. You want to do better. You're getting dreams, and you're getting messages in those dreams. That's important. If you have a spiritual community that you hang out with now, that's good. That's supporting you. That's going to be overall healthy. Pluto in Aquarius. Changes in the workplace that you never really encountered before. That's going to be a real theme, because Pluto's really the agent of change. And it tends to destroy whatever it touches and gives back something different. So, you know, like, I mean, I've heard that, you know, digital dollar, they're going to be digitally tracking people's water use, energy use, all this type of stuff, and punish people, you know, and it's going to be weird, folks. It's going to be really weird. I mean, if you're a rich elite, none of that stuff really matters, you know, but for common people, this is going to be a slightly difficult challenge. Now with Mars, since most of you are sidereal or Vedic Aries, with Mars moving into Cancer, it's kind of like there's this wishy-washiness of not knowing what to do or where you're going right now. And just, I mean, I'd say just go easy on yourself. Practice a lot of self-compassion. You do have Venus in the 1st house. That's making you look good. I mean, you know, Uranus is there. It's going to get closer to Uranus and closer to that North Node. And I mean, it's just like, don't get yourself in too many entanglements that could be trouble. Well, greetings Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. Yeah. Well, here we are. You know, we're in this place where there's so much to consider. There's so much to make anew and to bring forward. Now, Mercury in moving in Aries isn't that bad. I mean, it's like you're direct communication. You have access to people socially right now too. So you're a good teacher as well as a student. You're in that kind of position. It's sort of a party time of year for you. It's a time where you're making a lot of money this time of year, generally. You can manifest. Mars in the second house. Debilitated. I mean, it's like, don't lash out at people verbally, you know. Try to practice nonviolent communication. It's not always easy, but in the long run, it's going to do you good. I think for you personally, Pluto's going to change the way you learn higher knowledge. It's going to change relationships with grandchildren if you have grandchildren. It's going to change relationships with your father, change relationships with your teachers, change relationships with foreign relationships, higher education. That's where you'll see the change. All right. For readings Cancer, welcome to your horoscope. Well, this is interesting. Now, I would say that Mars in Cancer tends to be somewhat problematic. I think it's less of a problem for you because it's teaching you to be direct. And let's say you're a swimmer, you know, it's going to make water sports way more fun. And you know, a lot of times, a lot of injuries where, like, say you were a runner, you may not be able to give that impact, or bike rider or something. Swimming takes a lot of weight off muscles, so sometimes people who've been injured could stay in shape through swimming. Thus, the debilitated Mars does have a way out. Even debilitated planets actually have special gifts. So it's something to think about. You know, we could think about, you know, Mercury's position in Aries, but we could also think about it as if you were, you know, your sidereal Gemini, sidereal Pisces is where Mercury is. So communication in the workplace probably needs to improve for both of you. But overall, you're doing good at work. Overall, because Jupiter's presence is kind of canceling anything negative. And the sun being in your 10th house, it's like a really good time career-wise for you and performance-wise, and to be known for all your best qualities. Well, pardon me as I've been overcoming a cold. And greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, this is, you know, here's the kicker. For Leos, Pluto in Aquarius is going to change relationships. Now let's look at it this way. The sun is a luminary. It's not a planet, but it's the center of what's moving our solar system around. And Pluto, albeit far away, is still under the sway of that gravity. And even though it's a small planet, it's a planet of insights. It's a planet of transformation and regeneration. It can give deep wisdom. It also can make you think that, God, I feel so distant from my partner. They're going through all these changes and transformation. I can't really understand why or what. It's just something to look at. That's all. You know, I mean, I would say the people it affects the most would be July-born Leos between the 22nd and the 25th. Those first, you know, few degrees. You'll be the ones feeling it the most right now. But you're out in the public. You're out and about. I think overall your mood is more positive. This does give me some concern. Saturn in the 8th house, it's depressing, you know, because it's like other people have the power and you feel somewhat maybe depressed about things you can't control. I mean, things are getting better. It's Aries time. It's another fire sign. Jupiter's there. It's like, as far as like if you're on your spiritual path as a Leo, you're going to be where you need to be. You don't have to worry. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. You know, that light and that guidance is there. You can improve your relationship with your father, improve relationships with teachers, or if you are a teacher, you get better. All right. Okay. Well, greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So what are we seeing here? Well, I mean, you know, you're somebody who really likes to analyze things. Pluto coming into your 6th house could mark, you know, a couple of decades worth of having to look at health issues, you know, and be better to yourself, transform your health, start a better diet regime, start an exercise program, start something that is going to completely revitalize yourself where you have better health and that you're getting yourself into tip-top shape. It's not always easy, you know, and there's many diet gurus with different kinds of recommendations. Rather than making recommendations, I could tell you what to stay away from, you know, and that would be seed oils, refined sugar, any kind of hydrogenated oil. My God, it's completely deadly. Flour products, you know, breads and tortillas, processed foods, chips, cold cereals, things like that. That stuff is garbage, people, you know. It's going to deplete your health. You know, generally speaking, fruits, salads, pasture-raised meat and raw dairy, that might be the healthiest option if you're not allergic to dairy, and, you know, rock with it, you know, go with what you got. The debilitated Mars in the 11th house, you know, this is what I'll say about Mars in Cancer. It's like, there's nothing wrong with being like a nurturing male. It's actually really helpful. In social situations, people are inclined to arguments, and I ran into a gentleman. He's very clear on taking sides politically and everything, and I'm thinking, you know, I've never seen two parties or people ever more lost and ever more indebted to banking, big pharma, artificial intelligence, and, you know, BlackRock, Vanguard, the big corporate powers that own all these other huge corporations. They're both, you know, look at their roots. Don't look at what's going on and what they're saying on the surface, because you're not going to get good results unless things are rooted in good soil. Yeah. And, you know, you're going through a lot of change. Aries time is change and transformation. It's other people's power, not your own. And you just kind of have to take a back seat and chill. All right. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, this ain't so bad for you because you're kind of in the balance. You're on the outside looking in. In fact, it's like the energy of, you know, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius is really more important right now because all these other planets are in the offset of those signs. So, you know, there's that. Relationships should be good. They could be intensifying with Venus moving into your 8th house along with Uranus and Rahu. Get really weird, you know. I thought I was with a good guy, I thought I was with a good gal, but now we're getting into all this other weird stuff. I'm not sure about where I should go, and yeah. That's likely to be a part of this scenario. All right. And, you know, there's a transformation of your creative ability. There's transformation among your children now. They're changing. And just having to deal with that, and dealing with long-term health issues, really, you know, helping yourself get healthy. Oh, I feel that, you know. You got to step it up a notch. I know, it's hard when you're busy, I get it. Well, greetings Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, and yeah, you too, you're one of those signs that has this elixir of what we're not getting enough of. So that is helpful. I mean, your key phrase is I create. Now, Pluto is in your 4th house, so that's your mother, that's your older parents, that's your household, your home where you live. So there's these changes being made. Will some Scorpios move during this time? It's possible, you know. I mean, we may all have to move. We may all become climate refugees in our own way in these times, or whatever kind of refugee from, you know, being a refusenik to certain mandates and stuff could, you know, easily get people in trouble in these times. And, you know, because what happens is, like, they never relinquish laws or control. They just create more and more laws. And I just see the whole world, people are getting in more boxes and being told to not trust, and it's just horrible. It's almost like it's like a prison without walls, but people are constantly getting kind of put the squeeze on, you know. I don't want to see that. Now, since you're a Mars-ruled sign along with Pluto, I mean, Mars in Cancer, because it's trine Scorpio, it's not that bad. It's in the 9th house, so, I mean, going to the ashram, doing travel, having some kind of sense of adventure is going to be to your benefit. That's going to get you out, is just being with your teachers, your fathers, your spiritual people. That's going to be the way out for Scorpio right now, and to heal those relationships. All right. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, Jupiter in Aries has been pretty fun. Sun in Aries is pretty fun. Mercury in Aries is playful. I mean, these 3 things are really good omens. And, like, I'm thinking that overall, your life's pretty happy. And you're right where you want to be. Mars in the 8th house in Cancer. Well, it's a lot of other people's aggression. And it's not stuff that you can control. And yeah, they could be on some ungrounded emotional tangent that's not even based on reality, but they think it is. Just think about how much things have changed from when they said, you know, get a shot, prevent spread, to like, oh, people with shots are spreading it just as much, not more. Oh, you know, who's living longer, you know? Well, obviously people who get the shots. Oh, shoot, the latest information is actually people with the shots are not living longer. You know, and so it's very, it's saddening, you know, because sometimes we put trust in people that never deserved our trust in the first place. But we're told to, you know. It's the Stanford experiment, the people with the white coats. You're going to be okay, though, because your kids are doing good. When your kids are doing good, you're happy. And when you're happy, almost everybody else is going to be happy. And, you know, you have to deal with some health issues. You got to get organized. There's other things involved with this. It's not all it's not all just fun and games. We go to Capricorn. Well, I mean, the heat's off in that Pluto's no longer in your 1st house, but it's in your 2nd house. So it's like your assets, as far as money goes, and banking, you're much more vulnerable than you were before. And I mean, you know, we saw what happened a couple weeks ago with Signature and the Silicon Valley Bank kind of going down. And, you know, there was some deregulation that might have, you know, alludes to that probably contributed to that. But for that matter, I mean, banks overall manipulate who's in power in Congress or Senate or presidency or any of that stuff. Judges, all of it. They get first influence of who gets picked in politics. They have money, folks. You know, I mean, a few decades ago, they said that money was free speech. Well, if we're all guaranteed free speech, then we shall be guaranteed money. Now, we saw what happened when they gave out a bunch of money. Everything is, money's now inflation, spiked, things are worthless. Super sad to see this. And short-term thinking. It's the good thing about Capricorn is Capricorn's long-term thinking. So you got Cancer interfacing with you, Mars and Cancer. You know, open enemies, sometimes they say, come in the 7th house. But the thing is that 7th house is also about negotiation. 7th house is also 10 houses from the 10th house. So it's like, this is a real opportunity for you career-wise to do a lot better. And if you're in conflict or relationships, just roll with the punches and try to identify with what that person feels by saying, you know, I understand how you might feel that way. You know, instead of going, no, it's not that way, you know, that doesn't help anything. Just try to be more understanding. And that'll take you to a way better place. Yeah. And, yeah, you know, and really it's all about family right now, connections with siblings, parents, children. That's where the energy is for Capricorn. Greetings, Aquarius. Well, you just woke up to a brave new world. So, Aquarians born 20th, 21st, 22nd, you know, up through the 24th. You're getting the Pluto hits now of January, you know, and so you're going through a lot of personal change, and you need to go easy on yourself. I'm trying to think, when Pluto was back in Scorpio, transited my sun sign, my Venus, you know, I had my first child, you know, that I know of anyhow. I became a father. So that, well, you talk about life-changing. So Pluto does life-changing things, folks. And when it transits your sun, it can do life-changing things. And you have a lot more insights. Like people, I have Pluto on the ascendant. And people who have Pluto on the ascendant have really keen insights. They may not be always appreciated, because sometimes, you know, people want to feel like Santa Claus is real. You know what I mean? And there is some reality to Santa Claus, but he's not coming to all the kids' houses. You know, that's the reality of it. And it's going to take more than one to get to everybody. Yeah. So we have to, you know, this whole mentality that we have one-size-fits-all medicine, one-size-fits-all diet, one-size-fits-all clothing, one-size-fits-all gender. I mean, we're realizing this doesn't work. So we have to kind of open ourselves up. And this is an introspective time for Aquarius. You're really social, but this is really mostly take care of personal business. Yeah. And, you know, maybe fix up your house a lot, do a renovation. That might work. Well, greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, here's the good news. You know, the heat's off, you know, it's no longer Pisces time. And the other good news is that there's more time for family, there's more time to make money, actually. That you could be creating real wealth right now. So any ideas you have are probably going to take you forward further than you've ever gone before. So you want to be able to do that. And that your communication is overall pretty good. You just want to make sure everybody understands, ask questions, you know, do you have any questions? Do you really understand this? And make it so that it's not impolite to ask questions. I had a terrible algebra teacher once, and he says, you don't know something, ask a question. And then you ask a question, you say, well, that's because you weren't paying attention. You know, I mean, that is horrible teaching, people. Don't put people down if they missed something or they daydreamed or spaced out. That just happens, okay? This is the age of distraction. Mainly because of this thing. This is like the evil idol of our times, you know. No false gods before you. There it is. You know, and pay attention to your siblings, you know. They need more love. And, you know, Mars in Cancer isn't so bad for you. It's in the 5th house. I mean, dance more. Pay attention to your male children more and what they're going through. This will help as well. And, you know, having Saturn in the 1st house, it's kind of like you've got big challenges to face and you have to work with those. You know, it wasn't as hard when Saturn was in the 12th house, but now you're dealing with it and you're dissolving things that are unjust. You're dissolving things that are hindering real progress. So giving up addictions, you know, whatever it is that you're doing to make yourself a better you, thank you for doing it, because you make a better all of us. And thank you all for your comments. Thank you for subscribing, hitting the bell notification. Thank you for all your presence in my life. Love you. I care about you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat.